What's up, everybody? Chris Fitzpatrick here once again from Chris Fitzpatrick Speaks for another mailbag feature. Did a little bit of traveling this past week, so that's why we're a little bit late with this video drop. Spent a lot of time out in Dallas, Texas with some good friends at Southern Methodist University. And then next week I'll be shipping up to Buffalo. Or I believe it's shuffling up to Buffalo, or shuffling off. You ship up to Boston, you shuffle up to Buffalo, I think is the way it works. But either way, I'm going to be there speaking to some students as well as celebrating International Women's Day. So a lot of really neat things coming up, but I did want to make sure that we got to another really exciting question here. And this one comes from Samantha, who is a student at the New Jersey Institute of Technology. Samantha is an honor student and a mechanical engineering major at NJIT. And Samantha asks, what is the best thing new college students can do if they want to secure an internship? And I really like this question. I really like the way Samantha phrases this question because I think a lot of the focus, a lion's share of the focus on landing an internship or a job is usually focused on the juniors and seniors, the folks who are getting ready to finish up their undergraduate college careers. But what about the first and second year students who are seeking a head start on this exciting transition? How about folks attending community college, two-year schools, trade schools? What are some of the things that they can do to get ahead? So that's what we're going to focus on today, is how the newer folks, the people who have really not dealt with this experience quite so much, how they can get ahead early on in their careers. So here are 6 pieces of advice. Some of them are pretty obvious, others not so much, but all of them very, very important in helping an earlier student in college really get themselves prepared. So let's start with number 1, acquaint yourself with the Career Services Center. Whether it's called a Career Center, whether it's called Career Development Services, whatever the name is, that Career Center is your lifeline for exactly this sort of important work. And this is my shout out to all the incredible career services professionals out there. Thank you for everything that you do in service of those students and making sure that they're in the best position possible to succeed, because at the end of the day, that's really what we want them to do. You help those students find their way to employers and to recruiters such as myself to help them embark on a rewarding career. So this is the indisputable first point. The sheer number of college students who pass through the halls of a school for 4 years, or in the cases of a 2-year school for those 2 years, without ever visiting their career center or interacting with career services is absolutely baffling. Now, keep in mind, your tuition dollars or your scholarship dollars, if you're there on a scholarship, they support the Career Center regardless of whether or not you decide to take advantage of it. So whether or not you visit the Career Center, engage with an advisor, have your resume reviewed, do a career fair, whether or not you do it, that money is still going to support the Career Services Center. So if you go and if you utilize those resources, then you're making an investment in yourself. And if you choose not to, well, thank you for the donation. Career Services will help you fine-tune a resume. They'll help you practice an elevator pitch. They can help you with mock interviews. But also, they have relationships with the companies that are recruiting the students. They have those statistics. They know which organizations are really valuing the students at that particular school, and they can help you make those inroads. Which brings us to number 2, which is network your tail off. Please. Networking, so important. As a matter of fact, there's an old saying out there, and it's not what you know, it's who you know. You've probably heard that before. It's not what you know, it's who you know. That statement is half right. It is what you know, but it is also who you know. Those two things go together, right? Skill and competency as well as your network. The cliche itself, I think, is often thrown around as a ways to insult the success of people who have taken the time to network and to build really strong connections. And there's certainly some reason to decry the fact that some people do come to the table with privilege and advantage that others do not. I think we understand that. But that doesn't excuse those individuals either from the importance of networking and building a personal and professional network. Now, you do not need to be an extrovert to be an effective networker. All right, some of the best networking connections are made through deliberate one-on-one discussions. Many are made virtually nowadays. So introverts, extroverts, anybody can be a very adept networker. You just have to be willing to do it, and you have to know who to look for, what topics to talk about, how to follow up. You have to be diligent, you have to be intentional about it. A subset of this topic is, of course, the importance of having a LinkedIn profile that is 100% complete. Not 50% complete, not 75% complete, not 100% complete, but with a non-professional headshot, 100% complete with your interests, with your educational information, with your experiences, with a professional headshot, everything that LinkedIn puts out there for you to take advantage of. There's absolutely no excuse for not setting this up during or even before your first year of higher ed. High school students should be encouraged to set up a LinkedIn profile because it's free. And it requires information that we all have access to because it's our information. A lot of folks have no problem sharing far more personal information on your Metas and your Instagrams and your TikToks. But LinkedIn is the professional version of this. So for job seeking and for internship seeking, it is indispensable. Don't get too hung up on whether or not you have enough stuff to populate an impressive profile. You will get there. It takes a little bit of time and effort and patience, but get a professional headshot for your profile picture. Populate the fields that you can with your education, your work experiences, extracurricular activities, volunteer experiences. Join groups and clubs that interest you. Follow people that you want to learn from. Connect with your classmates, your professors. Connect with professionals. Join the alumni network for your college or university. Today's first year and second year college students are all digital natives who were raised with social media being part of their day-to-day life. So if you've not already embraced LinkedIn, please make today the day to start and use it to kickstart your networking efforts. Now, let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is attend the career fair. Yes, even if you are a first semester student and you're not immediately looking for internships or full-time jobs, this is your chance to start observing which organizations regularly attend career fairs. Companies boast a lot of your school's alumni at their organizations. Many of them bring those alumni back to work the career fair. This is a technique I have used for 16 years. I love to put alumni I've hired from a college or a university behind that employer table to meet students and to share firsthand their very authentic experience with the organization. This is also going to make the career fair experience more familiar to you in those later years as a junior or a senior. So if you have friends or classmates who don't attend the fair until they are juniors or seniors, and just then they're overcoming the uncertainty and the anxiety of being first-time attendees, you will be going in as a veteran with a game plan and familiarity with the territory. Number 4, get involved. During my first video on what stands out to me on an intern candidate's resume, I referred to myself, and I quote, as a sucker for extracurricular and leadership activities, and I stand by that statement. If you're going to have those on your resume in the future, you have to be involved in the present. Most colleges and universities have organizations that range from professional to social, cultural, and the chances are really good that at least one of those clubs or organizations will appeal to you. And if it doesn't, create one, start one, show that self-starter kind of an attitude, that leadership skill, and start a club or an organization that really appeals to you, because you might be finding a particular skill that other students are interested in getting involved in as well. This is a time to develop your human skills, all right, your non-technical skills. And if you followed some of my prior videos, you know that when I say human skills, that is the term I'm trying to get to take the place of soft skills, right? Because soft skills are not less important than quote-unquote hard skills or technical skills. I say human skills because they're almost impossible to automate, right? As good as AI is and as good as technology is, the ability to have one-on-one human communication, leadership skills, that really can't be replicated by a technological program. So being involved in a club or an organization will provide you with an opportunity to brag about your human skills. And these can include time management, which is balancing your involvement with academics and anything else that you're doing, including any jobs that you have. Interpersonal skills, so that's assuming other human beings participate in the club with you. Your leadership skills, especially if you took on a role, a leadership role or a committee role, an executive board position. Your communication skills, right? We've talked about all 4 of them in past videos. Verbal, nonverbal, written, and listening skills are all employed when you're joining a club or an organization. Your persuasive skills, right, or sales skills. If you've ever been involved in recruitment for a club or an organization, or you've ever had to do a fundraiser, if you've ever given tours as a campus ambassador, congratulations, you've been in sales. You've sold something, whether you know it or not. Persuasive skills are going to be important no matter what you do. So there are just a handful of those human skills that you can develop by getting involved early in your college career. Number 5, don't get discouraged easily. Not getting hired after interviewing does not make you a failure. Try to not get bogged down beating yourself up trying to figure out what you said that was wrong, and focus on how you felt you represented yourself and your brand. If you felt good about the effort you put in, excellent, build on that. And if there's something you thought you could have done differently, outstanding, work on that for the next time. Every interview is an at-bat, and even if it ends in a strikeout, it still allows you to become more comfortable with how the bat feels and how fast the ball is being thrown. You can't learn that in a classroom or by watching a video, not even this video. You have to step to the plate and actually take a swing. If you've built a relationship with the recruiter or the hiring manager at that organization, despite the outcome not being what you'd hoped for, reach out, ask for constructive feedback. You may not get it, but at least it gets you to the idea of asking for feedback. This demonstrates another terrific human skill, which is coachability. Plus, if you signal to the organization that you're coachable and that you're interested in future opportunities with the company, a strong talent team may even look at your resume for other opportunities and keep you in mind for the future. This brings us to number 6, our last on the list, and that is keep an open mind. You are not your major. You are not your resume. You are not your first job. You are a complex matrix of skills, interests, passions, and experiences, and it's ludicrous to think that that means that you can only be one thing. The professional world is too dynamic and chaotic to subscribe to the antiquated square peg, square hole cliche. As a matter of fact, if you're watching this video right now and you're in high school or you're in college, there's an excellent chance that 10, 15, 20 years from now, you're going to be in a job that doesn't even exist today. So keep that in mind and keep an open mind. Now, of course, you can always go back and check my video from Standout Resumes if you feel that your resume is a challenge or is holding you back. Whether you're a student at a 2-year school, a 4-year school, a trade school, you're a graduate student, maybe you're going for a doctorate. There are people out there who have a vested interest in your success. Many of them are faculty and staff at those schools. They may be alumni who take the role of paving the way for the future as a personal task. Many are friends and family. Rarely does the opportunity appear to you without effort. To begin this journey early is to give yourself the gift of time. You'll be able to make mistakes and fail forward with plenty of room left ahead of you. And if you are a junior or a senior who didn't start as a first or a second year student, don't worry about it. Don't spend time beating yourself up about that, and just start now. Because I'll tell you, there is no mythical fairy job mother who will appear to you 2 weeks before you graduate handing you your job without putting in the work. So I wish you all the absolute best of luck. And of course, thank you for spending time with me. Feel free to send questions my way. You can mention it in the chat. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Please hit me up on Instagram at Chris Fitzpatrick Speaks. But I would really love it if you would please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so that way you know when new content comes out. And please, if you have friends, colleagues, coworkers who you think could benefit from this message, please share it with them. I'm here to try and help you all reach your goals as well. So I am Chris Fitzpatrick from Chris Fitzpatrick Speaks. And once again, I really do appreciate your time.